back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Niall Frazier. And today we got some things we need to talk about. But before we get started, if you could for me, please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man. And also, please do not forget, I know I've been talking about doing this, and it's going to get done, but the free jersey giveaway, I'm going to do it tomorrow. It's either going to be tomorrow or Thursday. I'm definitely going to do it this week, though, so get that out the way, get that last jersey out to that person. And all you really need to do is be subscribed to the channel, make sure your channel is public, and I will enter your name in to win on the spinning wheel that I use on the internet, whatever the case may be. But you'll be entered in to win. And I'll reach out to you. I'll give you a few days, maybe 3 to 5. I'll give you a more definite timeline with that. But just want to get this out to whoever wins it. Usually we have a hard time giving away free Eagles jerseys. I never thought that would be a thing. So, but I do have to make the announcement. I know I had some things going on, and so I just want to make sure all that was taken care of. But yeah, man, just if you would like to be entered in to win, please, like I said, just subscribe to the channel. Dropping great content, trying to keep dropping great content for y'all, but then you'll be able to win not just Eagles jerseys, but I'm giving away t-shirts and like little smaller stuff because them jerseys kind of expensive. So, but shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate the love, all that good stuff. So let's get into what we need to get into, man. Don't want to waste y'all time. Trying to make this not too fast, but as fast as possible. So let me pull my notes up here. But a couple things that I wanted to talk about today pertaining to the Philadelphia Eagles, the draft and free agency pickups. As most of y'all know, let me pull it up. So sorry, I'm trying to pull this up. But as most of y'all know, we did have a free agency pickup. It was kind of quiet for a little bit. And Howie Roseman already got us prepared for a lot of this stuff. If you've been following what he's been talking about throughout the season, or this off season, he said things weren't going to look the same way or exact way that we might be used to seeing them. And he ain't really lying about that. I mean, I feel like he's still doing what he does best. But he's doing it in a way where, because like he has to think about future. You know what I mean? We got a lot of young dogs, and I don't mean that just Georgia dogs, but we got a lot of young guys on this team that are going to be coming up for a payday. When you bring in great talent, you got to remember that sooner or later that these guys do have to be paid, and they want to be paid well. You can't expect everybody to want to take a Eagles discount deal or whatever the case may be. So you always got to be consistently bringing in talent and developing talent. So I'm not leaning toward any different way how we should do in the draft. But with the free agency pickup that I wanted to talk about, which is Kendall Lamm, we grabbed him for insurance. As y'all know, we lost Fred Johnson to the Jaguars. Shout out to Big Fred. But he was a swing tackle that was able to play multiple positions, which the Philadelphia Eagles love to have that on either side of the line, especially in those trenches. So to be able to have this guy, I think he's about 32. I want to say he's 32. 31, 32, I can't remember. But former Dolphin, Titan, and Texan, 6'5", 310 pounds. Played 11 games last year. 3 starts at left tackle. Allowed just 1 sack and 172 pass block snaps in 2023. So he's not going to steal anyone's job, of course. He's an older guy. But this is an underrated move. He's going to be a backup to Lane and Jordan. But then most importantly, he's just keeping Jalen Hurts safe, giving him time to be able to get the ball to your A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And shout out to my man Dotson as well. And then Dallas Goedert, who I also want to talk about later on in this video. But, yeah, man, so he's coming in. He had a great little, and I seen Philly Mike, he had just posted it because I did watch this video. Shout out to Philly Mike. If you ain't following him, go follow my man. But he's another great Eagles content creator. But he had a clip that I just watched where the man's mindset, which is another thing that I talk about that I love to see from these players, his mindset's there. Being an older vet in the game, he got to play against Vince Wilfork I think I said his last name, Wilfork for the Patriots and stuff like that back in the day. So he played against some real decent talent, you know what I mean? And they taught him how to carry himself as an NFL player, which he spoke about. So that's something that he can bring in on top of his talent. But the mindset for these younger guys, because this is a younger team, you do still need, you ain't got to have vets everywhere, but you want to sprinkle them in, you know what I mean? Especially with losing Darius Slay and other key guys. So shout out to him, man. I think he's going to be a great piece, especially with that allowing what was just 1 sack. Like, come on, man. That's what you need to see. So shout out to him. Glad to have him here. And I think, Jeff Stoutland going to do an amazing job with him, like as he does with everybody else. So, next up, right, we had a top 30 visit today, which kind of surprised me because I'm not going to say we have to move up to get this player, but I don't know if this player falls to us just staying where we're at. And the top 30 visit I'm talking about is Donovan, and I'm going to say his last name wrong, but Ezeiruaku. Did I say that right? Do apologize, but edge rusher out of Boston College just had his top 30 visit with the Birds. Some key stats from 2023. He had a 65 total tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and he's 6'2", 250 pounds with a 4.6 40-yard dash range. So, good to see. Very explosive player. It seems like great bend too. Go smooth, crazy. So this could be a potential fit for Vic Fangio. As you know, we run the 3-4, but he can play 3-4, 4-3 as well. Motor runs hot, and it's exactly what Fangio needs in his defense. So you got and then you got to remember too with Bryce Huff, who I am still an advocate for, and it's no disrespect to Bryce Huff, but I'm only an advocate for Bryce Huff because of what we paid him, and that there was talent there. Now, if they're not using him right in the correct way, then that's a whole nother thing that we need to talk about. But if they can utilize Bryce Huff with this and they can't move him, I would like to see what they can do with Bryce Huff. But I know a lot of people really don't want to see Bryce Huff here, and I understand why. But as I've been doing this, I'm trying to give certain players leeway. I know like later on in the season they tried him out the way he was used to playing, and he ain't do the best, but he did better than what he was doing before. So, and then you also got to remember he's coming off of an injury too. So you can't put too much on these players. I think we're just looking at it from the simple fact that we paid him all this money, not us personally, but how he paid him all this money, and it didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to. So it is what it is, man. But I've also seen the different trade rumors involving Bryce Huff, where they said they can get a 4th to a 6th round or a 7th round pick for him. So we'll see how it goes, because you got to remember Howie's infamous for making these crazy trades during the draft, man. A.J. Brown, DeAndre Swift. So anything is possible. That's why I can't get too crazy about how I'm feeling or what I think, man, because I'm listening to Pablo Gary. Shout out to Pablo Gary too, another Eagles content creator. Make sure y'all go follow my man. But he did a video today talking about the I think it's the defensive tackle from Ole Miss. And great guy, great motor. Plays very well, nasty player too. But there's so many different options in this draft where I feel like you just really got to let it fall to you. And I feel like it's going to be somewhat of a draft that we had last year, where a lot of QBs going to come off the board, or I know I seen something somewhere else where they talked about the edge rushers. They didn't want to pay them $35, $40 million. You got to think Michael Parsons is about to come up, reset the market, whatever the case may be. So you want to try to get these guys young, hungry, and on a rookie deal. So hopefully the draft goes in a way where whatever player we're looking for falls to us. I know they got those Red Star players as well. I haven't heard anybody talking about that. Plus, we really don't know yet until after. But those Red Star players are always high on the list. So I really would like to know if any of the people, and I'm figuring that because usually when they bring the players in for the top 30 visits, they have high interest in them, but I don't think everybody's always a Red Star player. So, but like I said, it's been a lot of offensive tackles, and now it's been a couple of edges. So they also had the edge come in from, was it Mike Green, I want to say? I want to say it was Mike Green from, I can't think of his name. Can't think of the college. Here we go. Marshall, there you go. Mike Green from Marshall. So another great player, might go high, but he also had, and I'm not trying to, I don't like to bring up drama with people, but he had some off-field issues. I'll just say that. So I know Big Dom and all those guys are going to look into it. So we'll see how it goes, man. But I was leaning toward the safety, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I was leaning toward safety, and I'm still leaning toward safety because we do need a safety. But you got to think, like, how do I want to say this? Sidney Brown didn't get a chance to play last year, and then he came on late. I believe in Sidney Brown, no disrespect. I just think he got to temperament his game to NFL play style. It can't be 100 miles an hour, man. And then some of his tackling as well. But I think Sidney Brown can be a great player back there. You might want to add some depth back to safety, or you might be able to excuse me, I do apologize, but where you might be able to get a player in the later round. They have so many picks. It could go so many different ways, but I'm not thinking safety is going to be the biggest thing. But if you compare somebody with Jalen Carter on that defensive line, losing Milton Williams to take some of the slack off of him, even on the edge, like if they bolster up that, because me personally, I don't think the offense really needs anything. If they add another running back, that would be great. But other than that, man, I know they said wide receiver as well. Maybe looking at Phil, but I wanted to talk about another player that had the Eagles were at his pro day today, and that was, I do apologize. I just had him pulled up here. Forgive me because I don't have all these. I don't know all these guys' names just yet. He's a tight end. Tight end. Harold Fanning Jr. from Bowling Green, right? Fanning is a strong receiver tight end with great value after the catch. His blocking reps are good enough to keep him in line as a tight end 2 or a wing back on occasion. But his bread and butter in the NFL will be at tight end, who you can quickly get the ball to after the catch production in a tight end-centric pass attack, which is exactly what the Eagles do, man. So there was talks about Dallas Goedert being on the trade block. I don't know how that's going to bode well because, as you know, they done got rid of his man. He went to the Lions. Avonte Maddox, I wish him well. But Dallas is getting older. He's been missing a lot of games. And then behind him is Grant Calcaterra, who is also a great player but doesn't block too well. He's another person that, you know, is injured prone here and there. So I think they do have to start looking in that market for a tight end. I know they brought a couple of guys in, but having an Eagle scout there at Harold Fanning Jr. Pro Day will, you know, pretty much solidify to me that they are trying to look for, you know, somebody in that position. So, and he's 20 years old, 6'4", 230. So, man is built to play the position. So, something else we got to keep our eye on, man. But it's like I said, man, there's just so many different things that can happen in this draft. I will keep y'all updated as much as I can when I do see something new. But as for now, man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm starting to. People got me thinking now we might try to go for the trenches, which is there's nothing ever wrong with that. But I think with all the picks that we do have, best player, depending on where we're picking at, just pick the best player with that pick, and then hopefully, you know, it falls into place, man. Coaches got their input, you know what they want, or a couple guys that they want. Hopefully they can get a couple, if they hit on 2 to 3 people, I'm cool with that. So I want to make sure I didn't forget anything here on my notes. Yeah, I think I got everything. Yep. Okay. So, yeah. So, if you've been liking what you've been hearing so far, sorry about that. If you've been liking what you've been hearing so far, I really do appreciate everybody that's been tuning into the videos, man. It really do mean a lot. But if you like what you've been hearing, please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe. I'm your host, Niall Frazier, with the latest and the greatest on the Philadelphia Eagles. But one more thing, man, before we get up out of here, can I get a go Birds, y'all? I'm going to holler at y'all, man. Please be safe.